Every one of you watching this screen, look out.
Anything can happen in the next half hour.
What did I tell you about cartoons?
They've got a lot of brains, and they've got a lot of chutzpah.
Tell me how comic books make you feel, Dave.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious, and don't call me Shirley.
Hi, this is Franz Cantor, illustrator, cartoonist and toon-talker, and I'm here with
Jim Bridges, and I'm the president of the Australian Cartoon Museum, and today we're actually going to do something that we both really like.
Yeah. So this is a book called The Art of Princess Mononoke, a film by Hayao Miyazaki, of course, and this is published by Viz Media, and it's from the studio. They called it the Studio Ghibli Library, so there's a bunch of them.
Yeah.
This film is one of the best of the Ghibli films. It deals with growth, as all of the Ghibli films deal with. The character grows throughout the course of the film. But this is a very serious subject. This is about the...
There was a time, long ago, when people killed the forest spirit. Yes, and this is where the forest spirit lived, in the hills.
So if you ever want to feel connected to the forest, then you should watch this film.
It's a very spiritual film. It's an extraordinary film because there are so many different elements in it, so many different characters, all wanting different things, and there's basically no bad guy. I mean,
no, there's no
bad guy, and of course and for a Japanese thing, a film, the main character is Princess Mononoke. Although this guy comes close second, and when you first meet her, which is the front page, when you first see her, that she's got blood on her mouth, and she's spitting out bullets because she's taking the bullets
out of her
out of the large
her wolf mother.
Yeah, her wolf mother.
Yeah. So a lot of the Kodama, the deer god, the forest spirit, the wolf goddess, Moro, Lady Eboshi is one of the major characters.
Yeah.
The demon spirits, the lost people, Ashitaka is the main character that we see. Basically, the story unfolds through the eyes of Ashitaka, who has a very, what would you call him?
He's a journeyman. He's the hero.
He's a classic hero because he's got a lot to learn,
and he has to go on the journey and learns lots of stuff. This is
he has a good heart.
This is the spiritual heart and center of the forest, and it's a very spiritual place. There's this. The film starts off with the curse of the demon spirit.
Yeah.
And this is sketches, as you would...
this is Ashitaka's farm.
Yeah. Watercolour sketches.
Yeah. So this is typical of...
And this is finished work.
Miyazaki's...
where they're actually up here.
Yeah.
Up here. And this is the sort of road, because this is all their rice and stuff that they make.
Yeah. So there's an incredible amount of detail and attention to detail. There's tons of research.
Yeah.
He's gone into... both Japanese culture and European culture and Celtic culture, and to dig really deep into the mythology that can be shared by people all over the world.
The wind's going across the tops of the crops, And these are all just background stuff that,
Yeah, these are the backgrounds. So, they're lovingly reproduced. They're beautifully...
God, he could do trees, can't he?
Yeah.
And this is the demon that attacks, and it scares the bejesus out of everybody.
Yeah.
So it's just, and it touches him on the arm, and so his arm goes all spazzo, and there it is, it dies, and it all dies very quickly. And he's got all
he gets infected, so this is an evil demon, so he gets infected in his arm. It actually gives him some semblance of superpowers as well.
I don't see that.
You don't?
No, I
There
don't
is
see that.
If you watch how he
And this is how this
uses
demon...
the bow and arrow.
Yeah.
After that, when he gets the thing. So there's a good and bad.
Well, there he is, and he has to go off and find where this demon came from, because they don't want to be attacked anymore. So here he is. He's a great. He's the youngest, one of the youngest people in the thing, but in the village. But he is their main warrior. So backgrounds. They're all the old people who decided he should go off. And there he is. He goes off. That's a beautiful part of the film where he goes.
Yeah, so
right
it's
across.
a journey through the landscape to find a cure for his infection.
Yeah, and then he sees in the distance there these people being attacked down here.
Yeah.
So that's like they don't have shots like that in animated films,
Well, his arm starts to react actually to the violence.
Yeah, and he keeps trying to get it clean, but
Cool it, yeah.
Yeah, but here's this wonderful where the spirit
Town.
lives. Yeah,
Oh.
and this is just an ordinary town.
This is the ordinary town, yeah.
Where he meets this bloke, this Buddhist monk, this guy here, who wants to get the head of the spirit of the forest.
Yeah.
Here he is here, and
He's a beautiful character.
yeah, and if anything, he should be the bad guy, but he's not. There's no bad guys in this film, although there's lots of violence and the nature's being destroyed.
Well, you're getting closer to the industrial part of the.
And here she is, Lady Eboshi.
Yeah.
And she actually runs a factory, a huge factory town, Iron Town, that makes rifles, and she uses just women that she gets off the streets, all the ex-prostitutes. And this is where he finally meets. That's the first shot you see of her. She's across the side of the river, and she's cutting out bullets from her mother and spitting them out.
Well, Ashitaka walks into this battle that happens in the rain on this mountain.
Yeah.
And this one lone girl in this mask is attacking these heavily armed travellers, heavily armed workers.
Who are bringing in, the
guards.
The men are pack animals.
I don't know what they're bringing in supplies.
Yeah, they're bringing supplies.
They get attacked by Princess Mononoke.
Yeah.
So that lasts throughout the night. It's quite heavy. And of course,
Lady
Eboshi, she's a crack shot, so she shoots the mother wolf.
Yeah.
And this is what happens in the dawn as dawn breaks.
Yeah.
Ashitaka meets Princess Mononoke on different sides of the river, and she spits out, she sucks the bullets out of her mother and spits them out, and this is his first shot of her. And he falls in love with her like this.
Yes, that's right. Love at first sight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's a little bit more.
The modern day equivalent this time of year would be chocolate all over your mouth, wouldn't it? You know?
So she's kind of a wolf girl. Like, there are a lot of stories of children raised by wolves.
Yes. And she wears this head.
Romulus and Remus.
Yeah. And so lots of nature. More shots.
Nature is a very interesting character in itself in this story.
So this is the Iron Town.
That's the Iron Town. Before they actually reach Iron Town, the forest actually comes alive. So Ashitaka gets an impression of how much life and how important the forest is. Yeah. So
well, he knows anyway, but it's
and he's
special.
actually dragging
it's all
with
special.
him one of the injured soldiers, one of the injured workers.
They bring him back.
Iron
He
Town.
finds in the water. That's right. So this is actually Iron Town. Now all these little spiky things, they're
Keep
all
the wolves out.
Yeah, they're all sharpened poles.
Yeah.
And
well, that's a typical samurai castle setup.
Yeah, but
samurai
but this is industrialized. This is industrialized, and of course to do that sort of thing, you have to wreck nature all around you, which is so. There's all these setups, all these different. They're not balanced. Here they are. They're taking the things into the goods into the actual thing, and there she is. And she's quite a girl, isn't she? She's quite a girl.
Yeah, she's very. Both of the female the female heroine and villain, I suppose, both on both sides of this equation, They're very strong female
Yeah.
characters.
Which is
And
very
that's-
unusual in such a misogynist sort of cinema that...
Well, yeah, but Miyazaki actually specializes in
having
female characters.
that, and girls as the main characters.
Yeah.
And these are the girls who actually, they got a lot of...
And they're feisty as well.
feisty,
They've got
yeah.
a lot of opinion.
Yeah, and the blokes are all just...
Well, they're just like drones.
yeah, that's
in a bee
right.
colony.
That's right. And their figures are fun. Anyway, there's the night raid, and she comes in again. She's going to raid the whole place all by herself with a few wolves.
Yeah.
And she heads off. But there's these characters who live in the well, here she is. She's attacking.
Yeah, so some of the other characters are these ape-like creatures. They're not
Yeah.
apes; they're ape-like creatures, and
They want to eat her.
well, they're a different sort of race. You get
Yes.
looking at this, it reminded me very much of reading Robert E. Howard, because Robert E. Howard had this the stories that he told about Conan and Bran MacMorn, etc.
Yeah.
There was always these older races of people.
Yeah.
The people that lived in the caves underground or whatever.
Well,
An
it's also
older race of
H.G.
people.
Wells,
Yeah,
the
well-
Time Machine,
Yeah.
the Orlocks.
So they were the
Orlocks, wasn't
Orlocks,
it?
yeah.
But you see, what he does, he grabs all these
Myths and legends
and wraps them all up into one story,
One
and it's
story,
just
yeah.
fascinating. It's just
So it gives the story and the characters really something to
so she runs
contend
across.
with.
She runs across the roof, and here she is. She's attacking. She nearly gets Lady Eboshi because that's what she's planning to do. To stop.
assassination.
Yeah, and of course he goes after her.
Yeah, now he's riding this deer.
Yeah.
So he is a fully fledged
Yeah.
a deer
Yeah.
hunter.
He actually,
In a way.
she's
He's a
outnumbered,
hunter on a deer.
and she's outnumbered, and then I don't know, she gets hurt or something, and then he takes off. So this is the forest deer,
There's a sketch
the
of
god,
forest
yeah,
god.
and of course, that's the environment that those guys hang out in.
Yeah, these rock creatures.
Yeah. And then she's taken into this.
The magical heart of the
Yeah,
forest.
yeah, where
They try to heal him.
yeah. Yeah, and there's
Well, he
all these sprites,
The
these
Kadama, yeah.
spirits, yeah. And it's interesting because all this is also expressed with his horse.
So what happens is she comes from the forest,
Yeah.
and she gets wounded in this night attack,
Yeah.
and he takes her unconscious
Yeah.
back into the forest to heal,
Yeah,
right? So on his own.
Yeah.
So with the wolves form a pact with him.
yeah.
As long as he's looking after
Yeah.
her, he won't get eaten.
And
basically.
here she puts him in the healing waters, and here comes the night god, the night walker.
Yeah, well, he basically the creature, the forest
Yeah.
god has this different form. He walks around as this huge elk, this
Yes.
huge deer, and then transforms at night.
The day
Into
into
this
night.
deity.
Yeah, see, here he is.
So it's like a very magical sort of experience.
There's that monk who's after him, who wants to get his
Yeah.
head, and of course everything he touches with his feet
Yeah, it grows.
Yeah.
The green thumb.
And this is when you first see
Yeah.
him in the transformation.
So there's lots of legends of this, like
Yeah.
Herne the Hunter, which is a very Celtic
Yeah.
sort of idea.
And of course, she starts looking after him, and then there's the boar god, because the old animals were used to be giants,
Yeah.
and they hate all this, and
They hate humans because
Yeah.
humans bring chaos
Yeah.
and
they're
death to
they're wrecking the culture.
poison.
Yeah,
they're
they're wrecking the
poisoning the
culture.
environment.
And she is connected to the old culture.
Well, she's brought up. She's an orphan of the forest,
Yeah.
so she's brought up by the wolves. So
Yeah.
she has some say.
Yeah.
So they regard her as sort of like, okay, well, you're part human, part wolf, so we will
Yeah.
listen to you.
Yeah.
If they were all human, they probably wouldn't.
And this is where her cave is at night.
Yeah. This is
And-
the wolf's den.
Yeah. And oh look, it's a pretty complicated
It's
like
very
the clash
convoluted. It
between
can get very
humanity and the
convoluted, the
forest
story.
gods.
Yeah.
So it's an extraordinary story, and it's beautifully told. And as I said,
Look at the backgrounds
there's
here.
no bad guys in this film.
Fantastic,
There's no bad guys.
gouache and watercolor backgrounds.
And I remember the first 3 or 4 times I saw it. At the end of the film, I'm just sat there staggered, just completely.
So they really he did a beautiful job, Miyazaki, with the colors and the background. The environment they created. The characters that are against the background are likewise beautifully articulated.
This is the attack on the
stories.
fort again. There's another attack, and it's the war's over a long geographical area. It's not just all in one place, you know. And there's different people attacking different things. Here she's leading
Pigs and
the
wolves. Yeah.
And then there's these other people. This guy, he's
The mercenaries,
yeah.
and they come in and he actually attacks them. Because they're mercenaries, they're very
they're professional
violent.
killers, yeah.
Yeah. So he
and he talks to his what does he call the horse? It's not a horse.
It's like a caribou or something.
Yeah, and he talks to it, and it does what he does. And these are the dead animals that have been slaughtered.
Yeah.
It's violent, but it's not. It's a violent film, but it's not. It's not really made for kids, but still, it's an extraordinary experience. You know.
There's a scene actually that's very nightmarish where doesn't happen yet. Happens later on towards the end. So there's a convergence of all of these cultures, all of these different characters, to try to resolve this war between man and nature.
These are men underneath the pig costumes, and this is the dying old one.
Yeah.
And there's just all
so
sorts.
They basically converge. All of these stories and cultures converge for some form of resolution.
Then the demon it takes over. So she gets caught up in it, and then he pulls her out.
Yeah. So he's always there rescuing her. He does it quite often.
Yeah.
She saves him once because of the way that.
And of course, finally, they actually
killed the spirit of the forest.
And this is the
it's very mysterious. They cut the heads off.
Deeply mysterious. It's and what then happens?
So he has no head.
He goes looking for his head.
Yeah, so he causes destruction.
Well, not exactly. Yeah, it is destruction, and then all sorts of this goes through the whole environment until he finds his head there, and then they run off with the head. These guys run off with the head, but then they catch him up and they give it back, and then everything is restored. So now this is about the digital. Oh, this is all technical stuff.
Yeah, multiplaning in a digital world.
Yeah.
How do you create all of these?
Although
layers?
a lot of the film is old-fashioned animation as well.
Yeah, well, it's helped a lot by the digital evolution of animation. Obviously, this is fantastic. These are color layouts.
Yeah.
So they're in between storyboards and full color.
Yeah.
Production sketches.
Yeah.
They're just to give.
How much do you reckon he did all the drawing, Miyazaki?
I think he would have employed people
Yeah.
to help with that. He would have done a little bit of production sketches.
But he's their main designer, isn't he?
He's the main designer. Yeah.
And he's the director. He puts the story together. Everything, you know.
Yeah, the stories are really they're not scripted in the same way that the normal films are scripted.
No.
They're kind of organic.
Yes, he's after mood all the time and nature. He relies on nature to sort of lead the way with him. You know?
He's a consummate filmmaker, obviously, but his film language or his story of the film is really in his head, and he has a very organic way of writing. He writes visually, so the stories are produced visually first, and obviously the script and dialogues second.
Yeah, and you actually
Which is the
see
best way of
images.
creating
You
an
actually
animated film.
you actually see images that are beyond your comprehension, and also they're just marvelous. It's like you're witnessing a miracle or something for the first time. It's not like an ordinary story at all.
Well, the thing is, with pictures, there's so much more eloquent than a script.
Yeah.
A script, nobody likes reading scripts, let's face it.
Yeah.
But, visual scripts like this, storyboards.
It's a dark and dirty deed.
Are an awesome vehicle for telling the story.
Yeah,
This is a fantastic.
And the mood of the film, the pace of the film, all these things are uniquely Miyazaki, and it's a pity.
It is, but this is a very special form of Miyazaki. So this is a heavier tone.
Yeah,
sort of
this
concept.
is probably, I think, his most adult story.
Yeah.
Although his last film about the bloke who invented those planes, that's more of an adult story. But this has a lot of depth to it. You have to see this film 3 or 4 times to really comprehend its scope. It's vast.
Yeah, there's a lot in this film for
Yeah.
you, and there's a lot. It's lovingly produced, as you'd expect with a Miyazaki film.
Yeah.
But the themes that he addresses in here are beautifully researched, and they touch on cadences. They touch on
Yes.
stories that are part of many cultures.
Yes. Okay,
All right,
well, I don't think we did that good enough, but anyway, go out there and see the film if you haven't seen it, and if you've seen it,
Well, buy the book.
and if
The Art of
if you've seen the
Princess
film,
Mononoke.
see it again because it's worth it. It's one of those films. I've seen it 8 times.
Yeah,
Yep. Okay, well, it's
I've seen it 16.
It's goodbye from him, and it's goodbye from me.
And the 2 Ronnies, and we'll see you later.
Yeah, bye bye.
Thanks for the sour persimmons, cousin.